So we've been getting tons and tons of questions about the express bus service. It's a paid for upcharge from Disney to go from park to park. So we're going to tell you first what it is, and then also what our opinion of it is and whether we'd use it again. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the express bus service, I'm going to describe it first. It's basically a new service that Disney World Resort came out with in December, and they even said it's only a 1-month trial, so hopefully it'll continue, where you pay a fee, which we'll talk about in a minute, to go from one resort to another, but only after 10 a.m. and only the 4 major parks, so Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. It does not include resorts. It does not include Disney Springs.
So it's actually within the park to within the next park.
And there comes the value.
Yeah.
It's not just to skip using the regular bus system, because it only comes every 30 minutes. So it's not necessarily faster, except they do provide you a schedule when you go ask. So you
say you arrive at Magic Kingdom, you say, hey, you're already planning ahead, you're going to go to Epcot. And you say, when's the next bus for Epcot? They'll tell you, oh, it's on the 10s and 40s.
Right, so you know I can come back at a 10 or a 40, which is very useful. It worked great for us. We just sort of timed what we were doing so that we were there pretty close. And it's good to show up about 10 minutes before, because it takes time to walk to where the buses are. So I would recommend getting there 10 minutes before. But the price currently, and this is of December of 2016, is $15 for a single day or $24 for 7 days, but all of them require that you have either a park hopper for obvious reasons or an annual pass. So if you have a single day ticket, this will not work because you have to have tickets to more than one park. Right now they do not have length of stay, which surprised me. For a lot of things they have length of stay. So in other words, if you're staying 9 days, you pay a set rate for something for the whole 9 days. They do not have that. It's 7 days, period. But $24 for 7 days is a pretty good deal, in my opinion, because it's less than $5 a day.
So the most people we saw on one bus when we used it was 7 people. 7 other people.
That one bus had a few. It might have been 10, but yeah.
Yeah. So also these are the regular buses.
Yeah, it's the big size buses, because I had heard rumors it was vans. It's not. It's definitely regular size buses. I did hear secondhand that they did not pull buses out of rotation, because that was one complaint I heard people have. They said they have a whole fleet of buses just sitting so that like when one breaks down or when something happens. So they had apparently a lot of spares that were not in circulation. I don't want to get in debates about they need to put those in circulation with the other ones. I agree, so I'm not going to debate that. But in any case, they are using buses, but not from the ones that were already going to resorts. So they did not take away from resorts. And I think we can attest to that because we also used those buses.
Oh yeah, we used other buses.
And they were coming just as frequent as they ever do, even with the high crowds. So yeah, you could definitely tell they hadn't pulled away from the regular
Did we ever use it twice in one day? I think we did, right?
We did.
The Animal Kingdom Day to Epcot? No, I can't remember.
I don't think we ever did.
Wait a minute, I don't think we did. We did plan it last day.
And we did. And we ended up taking a rain break. So the way it works, and this is what makes it so cool to me, especially during high crowd period, is, or if you were doing 4 parks in one day, this would even be worth the $15 if you were doing 4 parks in one day.
So you can definitely, with the service, do 4 parks one day, 2 water parks, and then 1 mini putt-putt.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, you could.
Yeah, but these don't go to all those places, so don't take that the wrong way. They do not go to the water parks. It does not go to the mini.
So you can hit all the parks, knock those out, and then do the rest.
You've got time, yeah, maybe. Anyway, what's nice about it is you do not have to go through the turnstiles again. You do not have to go through bag check again. And so if you're there during a high crowd time like we were, that is golden. Like, that's what makes it worth the money, because the bag check lines were not horrible, honestly. I think they were staffed so heavily for the crowds, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Yeah. But it was still so nice. So for example, I'm just gonna give one example. We would get on at Magic Kingdom, so we would go between Buzz Meet and Greet and Buzz Lightyear.
So that's the pickup location at Magic Kingdom.
And you go up to a kiosk that's labeled and you tell them that you want to ride the bus. And so they tell you what time it's coming, and if it's close to the time, they escort you backstage. So
they
you
scan your band.
Yeah, you scan your magic band. That's how they tell you to have it.
Band.
Yeah. You go back to the back with you're escorted at all times, and there's huge signs everywhere that say "Don't film, do not photograph
backstage." That's why we don't
backstage."
have any film of this.
No film. And then you get on the bus, and frequently we were the only people on the bus. Even though we saw like 7 to 10 people one time, a lot of times we were the only people. I think the word's just not really out yet about it, would be my guess at this point.
They're not, I don't think, are they even advertising this on their website? No. Who knows? I don't think so.
I think they rely heavily on word of mouth, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not good.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then they drop, let's say we were going to Epcot that day, they take you in right next to, there's a restroom, and there's restrooms on both sides. So if you see you're coming into Epcot and Spaceship Earth is here, there's restrooms on your left. It's right next to those restrooms and guest services. And so that's where
that brings another point. So all the cast members running the service, they're, like escorting you and checking you in, are all the plaid
yes. And
cast members.
You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Because they make great small talk. They're super nice.
They're always on.
Yes, always. They're like really great. And so you do feel like you're getting VIP treatment. And to me, it was worth the money. I don't have any regrets, especially this past week.
None.
However, we did start talking about, will we really use this on our next trips? So if we already have planned this year to go during Flower and Garden Food and Wine, which if you know us, that doesn't surprise you. Well, one of the things we do during hot weather is we always take an extended room break in the middle of the day. So say slightly after lunch, but well before dinner, we take a 2 to 3 hour or maybe more.
So we'll go to one park in the morning, and then right from there jump back to the hotel, take a little break, and then from the hotel go to the next park. So this transfer express service wouldn't help us with that because we're not going from park to park.
Right.
We're going from park, hotel, then back to park.
Not only that, this trip we stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter, so our only way to get to a park was by bus. We normally stay at an Epcot resort, or sometimes we stay over at the Contemporary or somewhere on the monorail loop. Well, if you're staying at one of those resorts, the value of the bus also goes down because you're not always riding a bus to get to another park. So for example, let's say we're staying at Boardwalk like we did in the fall. We would go to, say, Magic Kingdom in the morning, take a bus back to the resort, take our 2 to 3 hour break, and then walk to Epcot. That was our typical, or walk over and see the Star Wars fireworks at Hollywood Studios. So we actually are not sure we would ever use it again, even though we loved it and have no complaints, just because it doesn't fit our touring style.
But at Christmas time, it's definitely worth its weight in gold.
If you're going Easter, 4th of July, Christmas week, Thanksgiving week, just any of the super, super busy times.
So I think for that reason, it's why they chose this period to test it, because maybe they'll just bring us back during those times only.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because the other times, no one's going to get it.
I don't know if no one would get it, because I don't know that our style of taking that big break is typical, but we'll see.
A lot of people, families take pool breaks, so.
True. Well, and the heat can just get brutal depending on the time of the year in the afternoon.
So the time from point to point, it was typically 15 minutes.
Or less.
We would step on the bus, sit there, and we'll step off 15 minutes later at the next park. The only long one, of course, was Animal Kingdom. We went to
it's a longer drive.
Magic Kingdom, which is probably the furthest from point to point,
probably.
I'm guessing. And that was
map,
like 20 minutes.
But it wasn't because of any delay, it was just how long it took to get there. And also, I forgot to mention that, because they're not coming in where all the other buses do, in high traffic times, that's a huge other benefit. They come in back ways on back roads, so there's no I never saw traffic on any of those routes that we took.
And it was interesting to see the backstage stuff. I don't know if you don't want to see that, definitely don't use the service, because you see employees walking around, and on their break. Yeah, breaks. I saw some
waving and chatting with each other. Yeah. Now you don't see people out of costume, so to
Yeah,
speak.
you don't see Mickey
You don't
without
see
his head.
that stuff, but you do see employees relaxed and off
And you
stage.
definitely see all the back space of the rides, like Test Track. We saw the
back of Tower
backside.
of Terror.
Yeah, so that might ruin it for some people.
I thought
It was kind of
neat.
funny. We saw the backside of Festival of the Lion King, and they actually put across the loudspeaker while we were waiting to get on the bus, 10 minutes to showtime.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think it's kind of neat if you don't have the money or don't want to do the time investment for like the Keys to the Kingdom or one of those that takes you behind the scenes. Now you don't go in the utilidors or anything that cool,
No.
but just seeing behind the scenes to us was pretty neat since we're sort of
Yeah.
really into Disney. So I think that was kind of neat, but if you have kids and you don't want to burst the bubble for them, you might want to think twice. But I didn't see anything I think would ruin it for kids. It just mostly looks like a bunch of warehouses. I think it's shocking how unbeautiful the back lot is.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
would
meaning
agree.
it's unglamorous. It's just a bunch of, you know, warehouses. But we enjoyed that part of it. And it was such a bummer we couldn't film our photo, but they had explicit signs everywhere saying, you know, don't do that, so we didn't. But that part was neat,
Yeah.
I think. But mostly it was just so relaxing because you know how it is, you get on a crowded bus and you have to stand up and you're tired and, you know, all that. It was just so nice. You get on and there's hardly anyone there and you had a seat. And most of the time we didn't even sit next to each other because it's just like wide
Yeah, the
open.
whole bus.
Yeah.
So they left definitely right on the dot to their schedule because I was looking at the
Yes.
clock over the thing. What else do we want to mention? Where to purchase. So you can purchase this at your hotel, the concierge desk.
And I got a lot of bad information about that online. You definitely can purchase
Yeah.
it at concierge, but not at check-in.
Right.
Because I had read you could purchase it at check-in. You cannot. It has to be, at least at the time of this filming, it's at the concierge.
And then I'm assuming at the podiums?
Yes, you definitely
Okay.
can at the podium.
Guest services.
Guest services. That, as far as I know, that's the only location. So anyway, we hope this was useful. And once again, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Bye.
Bye.